All right, we are back. Welcome to season 2 of In the Paint. I'm your host, Earnest Christian. The guys are back. The Degenerate himself, Zachary. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
The professor himself, new father, Krizmanic. What's up, buddy?
Turned one, so
Huh?
super new. She just turned one, but
It's still new. What? And the other two is.
baby, let's go. I know it's a basketball podcast, but go Bengals.
By the way, I know if I on Hello Podcast is recorded a little while ago. Now my original pick for the Super Bowl was Bills Rams. Obviously, that looks bad. Rams. But I have Bengals and Niners in the Super Bowl. So just let you guys know where I'm at. So anyway, we haven't done a show like this on this feed in quite a while. Of course, check us out in the paint on any of the podcast catchers, part of Earthspeaker Media. All right, so we are just gonna kind of just check in here. We haven't done a show in a while. The last show we did together actually technically was the Earthspeaker podcast. We did our over-unders back in October. It's been a while since then. So lots happened. We're halfway through the year. Do you want to start with Zach's topic first about the recent high scoring surge in the NBA that's what we've been seeing last month or so between teams and players in general?
They're gonna shatter the record for most 40-point games in the season.
How many
demolish it?
There was a 60-point game, then a 70-point game.
Yeah.
Then three guys in a row on the same night had 50+ points.
Dude,
it's getting insane.
Lauri Markkanen's putting up 49-point games. It's yeah.
No, it's stunning. It reminds me of kind of like the mid '80s a little bit, because there was a lot of scoring in the mid '80s too back then as well. You get the occasional 50-point games and whatnot on a solid consistent basis, and not only that, you have games now also not just with players, but also with teams now scoring 140, 150 on a regular basis now.
Yeah, those 50-point quarters. I want to say one team has already had given up 60 points in a quarter twice this season.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. What do you think it's caused? Is it lack of defense? Is it the rule change? Any rule changes you think that's happened recently that's caused this to happen? What do you think?
Who wants to go first?
I don't care.
Okay. I think you can definitely see with a lot of players, they're getting to their spots and they're settling less. I think we finally come to the point where the way the game was played, athletic, are finally meeting that sweet spot where guys aren't just looking at, back in the day when we were growing up, it was all mid-range. And then analytics came about and it was all layups and three-pointers. Now you're getting that mix where everyone's just trying to get to their spot and they're scoring optimally. Because most of these games are not – all these big scoring games aren't high-volume shooting games. Guys are just shooting lights out these games because they're actually getting to their sweet spot and shooting the shots that they want and shooting more open shots instead of just forcing shots up all the time.
Zach?
It's a mixture of that and the free throws. The guys who are putting up these huge games tend to be the guards who are better free throw shooters. And you're watching them go 15 to 16, 16 to 17, 17 for 20 in a game.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that, and then all you had to do is you'll see a stat line of 20 for 31 with 3 for 6 on threes. Something crazy. It's how'd they do it? And it's the number of free throws. So the fouls have easily gone up.
Yeah.
You look at star players, and at the end of the games, most star players have 4 or 5 fouls.
Here's my question, though. Do you think it's good for the league? Do you guys do you think it's good for I mean, I get a mixture of both. I get a mixed bag of opinions on this. That some people think it's not good for the league. Some people think it's great. Scoring is good. What do you guys think on that?
Well, to me, you know what it reminds me of?
What is
Those classic basketball films from the 40s and 50s
Mhm.
where you'd see the guys in the little shorts and you just see them run around with no 3-point line at the time, and they
Mhm.
just pull up and hit, pull up and hit, pull up and hit.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody does now is they pull up and hit a jumper. And that jumper tends to be a 3.
Yeah.
It's sort of boring. You have to admit, when all it is shooting, like you rarely see guys taking other players off the dribble.
For the casual fan, I think higher scoring games are always going to appeal and help spread the popularity of the sport.
Because
Watered down rules. I mean, I think the rules just heavily favor the offense right now. It's
of
really
course it does.
NBA.
Like I see, I can see both sides of the argument though. Like I don't want to go back to where we were in the '90s, where like it was like games ending like 73-70. You know, like they're wrong. I can appreciate good defense, but at the same time, you want to have I like a mixed bag of this stuff. I like some scoring, but I like also like a little bit of defense too on top of that. I think come playoff time, you'll start seeing more clamping down on defense. I just think referees a little more liberal with making
But
calls.
what is defense now? Giving up 105 points, giving up 110? Like, what do you want to see on defense?
I mean,
More than I want to see consistency more than else.
playoffs.
Say it again now, Kris.
You get more sub 100 games in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
You're playing the same team over and over again. I mean, you're going to know their tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw in the Heat Celtics series last year. There was a couple of sub 100 point games in that series.
Oh, we have two duos in the NBA, Boston and the Nets, where they're almost scoring 60 combined points. Two guys.
Yeah, Kyrie and Kevin and Durant, of course, and then Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that are those the two best 1-2 combos in the league right now? Would you say?
I would think so.
I don't know. Like Mitchell and Garland right behind.
They're pretty good. I mean,
They're good, but to me, no one comes close to Tatum and Brown right now.
Right, I agree with you on that one. I think yeah.
Because of the defense, also.
Right, exactly, and they're both healthy all the time. They both stay healthy.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that is true is that it's always going to hurt. Like I think Tatum more so than anything, his MVP chances will always be hindered by that fact.
It hurt my top 10 status when I was going over the list of how I would rank the top 10 players right now.
Oh, you want to touch on that now? The top 10. We'll visit our top 25 list we enter the year. So, guys, this is the podcast. Not on this show. On my main show, podcast. When we had, I think we did on that podcast. Was it that show we did? Yeah, we did on that show. We had sometime in October. We did ranked all the top 25 players entering the league, entering the season this year. It's on there somewhere around October. And we're gonna revisit now our lists. Kris, you have your list right now on you or no?
I do not, but I remember most of it.
Okay, so remember Kawhi being number 5.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, okay, so like let me go real quick if I can find it in my folder here because I had it in this right over here. Here we go.
Note that I was the person that had Domantas Sabonis top 25. Thank you very much.
So you want to run through my list real quick then, and we go from there and see what we would change. So I'll tell you right now, my top 10 coming to the year. Well, let's go to bottom 10 first. Okay, bottom 5. My bottom 5 I had coming to the year was the following. I had Don Mitchell 21, Bam Adebayo 22, Jaylen Brown 23, DeMar DeRozan 24, and Anthony Edwards 25. That was my bottom 5. Zach, what was yours?
It's on my phone, so I'd have to close out.
Okay, no. Well, okay. What else my list? What would you change now? Obviously, what I would do, first off, Mitchell would be much higher. In fact, I even apologized to Mitchell on another podcast like a week or two ago, saying, "I'm sorry. I thought you topped out. I thought you were done as an elite player." No.
I thought I had Mitchell like late teens, but it might have been in the 20s.
Right.
The one I'm mad about in that span would probably be Zion for his impact.
He wasn't on my list at all. I think
He was on no one's list.
he's on it now. He's on it now.
And the fact he played 30 games, and you look at where their record is, he was dominant.
Okay. Of this top five, Kris, we're off of mine, I guess. Then, right, real quick. Mitchell ought to be higher. Bam is probably still in that same area where he's at. He's still a top 25 player. He's been okay this year. Jalen Brown be much higher on this list. I think DeRozan's out. He's been good, but I think there's an influx of talent now that's uplifted. DeRozan's not better than he was last year. He's still pretty good, but I don't think he's a top 25 player in the league right now.
I mean, the numbers say otherwise.
Yeah.
But they're not winning also, too. Well, they're playing better now, but they've been mediocre most of the year this far.
I do remember both me and Kris killing you for having Jalen Brown so low.
Yeah, I was going to have to correct that now. And the Edwards 25, Minnesota's underwhelmed this year.
Yeah,
and his attitude has been kind of.
Did any of us predict that kind of turmoil preseason?
Yeah.
The crazy thing about it is between him and Cat, with all these 40-point scoring games, no one on the Timberwolves have put up 40 this year. That's shocking.
All right, so my next five here, 20 through 16.
Gobert, I think Gobert came close with like a 39 and 20 game to start the season.
Are you serious, Gobert? Are you serious? Gobert had that?
Yeah, he had a monster game to start the season.
No, Gobert's in your top 25. You're a big Gobert guy. I don't know how. Anyway, the next five here, 20 to 16. 20 had Chris Paul, 19 Kyrie Irving, 18 Anthony Davis, 17 James Harden, 16 Trae Young. Clearly, Chris Paul is not in the top 25. Get him out of there, obviously. He's gone.
You know what?
Oh, I found my list.
This year, up to almost, he's just a shade under 40%. But yeah, he's at like 14 points a game right now. It's brutal.
Right.
This is where my regret happened.
Okay, where's regret?
Dame, CP3, AD. Putting AD in the top 20, even though he's so talented and knowing he's injury prone.
So but 80's tough.
When I see how many young players have just dominated and helped get their teams up in the standings, man, Dame has dropped down for me.
Oh, he's dropped. I'll say that.
And CP3, yeah, he was off the list.
Now. I will still say Dame is a top 25 player, but he's not where I have him. I have him at 13 actually. AD's complicated because AD, when healthy this year, has played like a top 5 player.
Oh yeah, he was dominating on defense. The only thing that sucked was his offense.
Right.
He couldn't hit a three, so you wanted him to do nothing but shoot jumpers.
James Harden's complicated because he's been playing very well in that number 2 role behind Embiid.
Yeah,
he's playing really well. I feel like Harden's number 17 is kind of where he should be because he's not carrying a team anymore. He's kind of in that number 2 spot like Jaylen Brown.
And Maxey, Kris was right about how good Maxey was, which kind of hurts Embiid's MVP talk.
Absolutely.
For games played, for like someone like me, the amount of games he misses will always be. He has 7 40-point games this year, but he missed he's just under where I would qualify people who can run for MVP.
Who's that? Embiid?
Yeah.
Okay.
7 40-point games this year.
Well, I figure you have to play at least 30 games right now to even be talked about.
I agree with you on that.
Right at the cutoff for me. Like Giannis is at 34. He's right there.
Yeah, but they've only played 40 games, so he's missed 6.
40, 42. Like most teams like 40, 42.
Yeah, but the Bucks have been low on games played. I was checking it out earlier.
Trae Young at 16 for me seems kind of high right now based on the, what's happening this year with the team.
Based on their record, I agree.
Go ahead, Kris.
Trying to figure out their roles. That was going to impede his progress. He has turned the ball over way too much, though.
Well, I think the real thing that's hurt the Hawks is Murray has deferred so much with his scoring to Trae.
Yeah. All right, so my next 5 here, 15 through 11, I have 15 Karl Anthony Towns, 14 Paul George, 13 Damian Lillard, 12 Devin Booker, 11 Kawhi Leonard. This is going to be easy. Kawhi is gone. Booker, because of the injuries, has to go lower.
Of course.
Lillard, definitely lower. Paul George, I mean, he's played okay.
Not really. I mean, the Clippers are... Him and Kawhi both played, and they got fucking starched the other night by Denver.
Yeah, I know.
They're on a 6-game losing streak. So, I don't know.
Okay, he's lower. I don't know if I'll get him on the top 25, but he's definitely lower. Anthony Towns, again, injuries too. I mean, at least lower.
Yeah, but his mesh well with the...
Yeah, he's an all-around drop just from all the misses.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you, Kawhi. He's completely out. And this is where I slide in a guy from Indiana to make the top.
Bingo. Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes.
He's top 25. So the 10 is easy. The 10 are going to be in the 10 no matter what, probably. Halliburton
would have been borderline top 10 the way he's played this season.
Right. So Halliburton will be in the top 25 definitely.
Yeah.
Who wasn't on my list? Zion's not on there now.
Yeah.
I probably would have said Brandon Ingram before the injury. Entered that list too also.
The bonus got to be with the list right now.
Yeah. So let's go 10-1 on my list here. 10-1 and see the order or not. So 10 coming to the year, I had 10 John Morant, 9 Jimmy Butler, 8 Jason Tatum, 7 LeBron James, 6 Nikola Jokic, 5 Joel Embiid, 4 Steph Curry, 3 Luka Doncic, 2 Kevin Durant, and 1 Giannis. Top 3 is easy. It's Giannis, it's Doncic, it's Jokic. Not even close. That's your 3 snug right now.
In that order, or
I would probably go. Yeah, I mean,
this is where I want to nail you down is the order for top 3.
The order can go anywhere. Look, if you put Jokic number 1, I won't be mad at you. Those are your top 3 players in the league right now. Those 3.
Yeah. So, I mean, for like my top 5 right now, you got to go Luka 1. I think the Joker 2. I think Giannis and Durant have a serious fight for who's 3 and 4.
Okay.
The problem is Durant's going to miss at least 2 weeks, and that's
and then I put Tatum at 5, but
Tatum at 5.
I mean, you got to reward best record. I mean, all around play, he has upped his game.
So Tatum definitely moving up the list. That's for
sure. The one guy in my top 5 going into the season was Curry. That has really dropped. I have him at 10 for the simple fact, if you remember where they were the first 30 games and how bad the team was playing, they were still in the playoffs, unlike, say, LeBron James.
Well, LeBron's number 7 on my list. LeBron is still a top 10 player right now. Let's be real.
For what? Explain to me how someone who is not even in the play-in right now is a top 10 player.
I'm glad you said that because right now, well, here's the thing. I'm glad you said that because right now the Lakers currently are number 12 in the West right now. However, they're literally a game and a half behind the 6th seed Warriors. A game and a half. There's a complete cluster between number 5. Second number 5. Number 6 through 12 and even 13. Separated by literally 2.5 games.
And how many teams play in the West?
15.
So they're 12th out of 15th in the West.
Right, but given the slow
and then there's another
also.
Then there's another 15 teams in the East. And you're telling me he's a top 10 player.
Well, this team would be what, a 5-win team without him right now?
I would say those first 6-7 wins of the season they have are primarily because of Anthony Davis.
About time did some work.
Hey, yeah, it might be about time, but he literally did all the heavy lifting in those games.
And now he's doing it now with the AD out. They actually prior to last night had a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Numbers say he's still a top 10 player. Like The eyeball test says otherwise. He's shooting sub 30% from three. Still turning the ball over a high clip, even though his usage is down. I just don't. I don't. When you see it, the defense isn't there. The leadership, like,
Yeah. He's filling a stat sheet on a bad team. That's
So wait,
what he does now.
So what, are we arguing him being a top 10? He's not a top 5 player. That I agree. We're arguing him being not being a top 10 player now.
No,
yes,
I had him at what 12. I had him at 12. So
look at your list, and then come on, really, John Morant is not ahead of him right now because
John's ahead of him. I'll say John ahead of him right now. But I can't make this. But here's the thing: after they get past the 6 guys I have, and then okay, I'll give you Tatum over him right now, and John Morant. Okay, so yeah, he's at 9 at least based on that argument. Who else are you top 10? You putting top 10 now?
Okay, so now let's look at the Phoenix Suns and what has happened since Booker went down.
Right.
Okay, so Booker's 10 at least. And boom, LeBron is out of the top 10. Just like that.
Actually, based on that, LeBron is actually number 10 based on my list. So yeah, because I mean, unless you're saying Jimmy Butler's top 10 player still.
Where are the Heat?
They are 2 games over 500.
How about this? Why isn't Jaylen Brown ahead of LeBron James at this point? 2-way player, best team also. Let me look at another guy.
I say D. Mitchell.
Halliburton right now.
Mitchell may have a case for that now. Okay.
Donovan Mitchell this season.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. LeBron is officially out of the top 10.
Okay.
If you're honest with your assessment of 2-way playing both sides of the ball, shooting, leadership, winning, all of that. If you're gonna say what you do on the court and the results matter, he's not a top 10 player.
Honestly, I put SGA ahead of him at this point in his career.
SGA is top 25.
He's top 15 right now.
Could be. No, I'm not saying it is. If I did a rankings,
it's close. It's
very close. Yeah.
That guy's putting up numbers where he is the only legitimate person on the whole team.
That's a fun team to watch, though. I'll tell you that. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, Giddey. This is a disappointing season for Giddey.
Yeah. Mitchell's definitely in the top 15 conversation, maybe top 10.
Mitchell's easily top 10.
Easily top 10?
He's borderline top 5 MVP.
Ooh.
Look at what he has done with Cleveland.
No. I get that because that's going to be one of the topics we're going to talk about in a second about the MVP race because Mitchell's definitely conversation. Okay, so real quick, let me go back out here real quick and get the list here. So I guess we can do it now then. Before we get the rankings, the MVP rankings. Go ahead, Kris.
We should just transition right into MVP standings.
Okay. So your rankings MVP right now, currently. Zach, go. I guess top 5. Give me top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah.
Top 5, Tatum at 5. Durant at 4. Barely by a hair. Giannis at 3. 4 is the Joker because I don't want to see a 3-peat. And Luka, with what he's doing as far as a team, he's number 1.
I'll tell you what. Prior to Dallas playing better, I would have had Luka on a lower end of that conversation.
Yeah, but
now they're winning games now.
Yep.
Now they're winning games now.
And you have to reward when you're building continuity with a new starting lineup.
All right, Kris, what would your rankings be if you did the top 5 MVP?
I'll put it to you this way: the only shot that Jokic has to have a 3-peat, and he's so close, is these 3 factors. He's got to keep his points at least 25, which he's right at 25.0. He's got to stay number 1 in the West, which they are currently tied for number 1 in the West.
How about top 2 in the West?
He needs Murray to go back down.
number one. He needs number one in the West. Dude, voter fatigue is so fucking real. Like, it's the realest fucking thing. He ain't getting no vote. But if those two things, and he averages the 25-point triple double, which he is only 0.3 assists away. He's bumped up his assists from 6 and change last year to 9.7 this year. If he goes 25 points with a triple double and number one in the West, you can't deny it. But because of voter fatigue, he's down.
But this is why I hate voters. This is why I hate voters, though. Like, reward the guy that deserves it. He's already having his best season of his career.
Yeah. Well, he would deserve it with the 1 seed and the best season of his career.
I agree with that. All those factors too. I agree with you also on that.
But Luke is having the best season of his career too. And if he gets the 1 seed, don't you have to reward him?
I think Luka's margin of error is a little bit wider. If he gets the top 4 seed in the West, given how bad his team is, not bad, but
Well, if Jokic does what Kris is talking about, then I think he has to be at least a top 3 seed.
I agree with Kris on that one.
Top 2 seed.
No, I think Luka's margin of error is a little wider because of the team. Because Denver's a better team than Dallas. Like,
by far.
It's night and day. Like, I'm not even talking about Murray.
But here's the thing. When you get into comparing Giannis and Durant, Giannis has a way better balanced team than what Durant does. Durant has 1 scorer on the team, and that's Kyrie.
Yeah.
After that, there's not another scorer in double digits on that team.
Let me tell you something. Before his injury,
or Claxton at 11, maybe.
Number 1. With the way they play since Steve Nash has been fired, KD was my number 1. He had played 39 out of 40 games. Light out.
Yeah.
The league in free throw shooting. He's shooting 56% from the field and has the highest percentage of mid-range shots.
It's Durant?
It's Durant.
Wow, that's incredible.
I think he's averaging 3 defensive turnovers. So blocks and steals, he's got 3. So he's having incredible defensive stats.
He's having an insane year this year. So he was number, but now he's missing 2 weeks. Who knows?
By the way, Jacques Vaughn, coach of the year right now, is a record.
Like, their ratings going to their standings are going to just crater at this point.
Well, Jacques Vaughn, coach of the year right now, thus far. Right now. Yeah, I mean, he literally fell into dumpster fire, literally into the worst dumpster fire in the history of basketball in 1 year, and literally turned the team around in the span of 3 months.
Yeah, except for now, the Nets are going to be averaging 85 points a game.
So Hardy, coach of the year right now.
Well, under 500 now, unfortunately.
Huh?
Under 500 now, unfortunately.
Doesn't matter. For them not to be, here's the thing: Utah leads the league in back-to-back. They played almost all their back-to-backs already, and they played way more road games right now. They're the year, and like I said, even if they stay right under 500, coach of the year right there. That dude lost his 2 best players.
So my top 5 right now, 5 have Giannis, 4 Tatum, 3 Durant, 2 Luka, 1 Jokic. Tatum, I would put a little higher, but he's kind of tailed off a little bit. That's mostly because of Jaylen Brown too. Also, it's like almost not even fair.
That's why I couldn't put him any higher than 5.
Right. I have I mentioned Embiid and Mitchell. The Embiid's quietly having a great year too.
And Embiid, I knocked so low because of the team around him.
But he's still maintaining though, and I think his presence is making Harden better too as well.
Only knock is his games played. Wasn't for that, he would be top 2. Probably. I would have
Embiid.
I would have between Luka, Embiid, and Kevin Durant. They would be my top 3 right now.
Yeah, there's no way I could put Embiid in the top 5 over any of those 5 guys because of what Embiid plays with.
Oh, that's not true. That man is just dominant. He is as dominant as it gets right now in the NBA.
Oh, he is. He's arguably best center in the league, though, not named Jokic. At this point,
game is insane.
This is definitely the most
40-point game.
Yeah. This is definitely the deepest MVP race I think we've ever had, honestly.
But I think the injuries will filter everybody out, and I think Luka's gonna end up being the winner. I don't think it's gonna be close.
If Dallas maintains winning, yes. You can't be a mediocre 500 team and win the MVP. I'm sorry.
If you're the leading scorer in the NBA and you're averaging like almost 9 rebounds, assists, so you can't deny that.
But I mean, SGA's in the conversation. Then SGA's averaging 37 points a game.
Okay.
No one's about him.
Luka's at 34. SGA's like barely over 30.
If Indiana gets into a top 4 seed in the East, Halliburton doing 25 and 10 assists.
He's got to get some love. Got to get some love.
He's got to go top 5.
And 10 assists, yes. He leads this. He started in steals, but he's only averaging 20 points a game. But the fact that he had
it was like 20, almost 25. Damn.
The fact that he had at 6 is fucking mind blowing. Like absolutely mind blowing.
That's a good segue then. Biggest surprise. That's mine is Indiana.
I was gonna go the same way. Like Indiana being at 6 is unbelievable.
For me, it's still gonna be Utah.
To
me, it's just mind blowing. They're this good. I didn't expect them to win this many games all season.
No, I agree.
Like in the West?
Yeah. No, I legit thought that I did not think they'd win 20 games going into the season.
In the West, going like positive surprise, I think by far Utah is the biggest surprise. They have a better record.
Yeah, so if it's East, yeah, Indiana.
Yeah, and in the East for positive surprise, it has to be Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana right now, the playoffs are today. They're a 6th seed right now.
Yeah,
they're not even playing. They're a playoff team.
But that's what happens when they stuck it out with their Miles Turner. They stuck it out with him. Got Buddy Hield. He leads the league with three-pointers made by quite a margin.
Does this take him off the table now? Trade rumors now? I mean,
I wanted to ask that. How does LeBron demand a trade for those guys now from Indiana when Indiana is actually in the playoffs?
Exactly.
But you know what's crazy is that both teams wanted that trade. Like, how often does that happen? Like,
are we really sure Indiana wanted that trade?
They both won, absolutely. The bonus is playing lights out. Dude, Sacramento's a 5th seed in the West. And Halliburton.
Oh, no. I was referring to the possible LeBron James for.
Oh, no.
Miles Turner.
Yeah, that was the trade. That possible trade.
I'm saying you never see like player for player straight up swaps like that. Bonus, but it's working out.
Absolutely.
What about your disappointment this year?
I mean, fuck. There's a slew.
There's so many. You can go Minnesota. You can go. You don't have injuries. You can go Golden State, obviously, but injuries too. I'm gonna go Miami.
I would say, like, barring injuries, Miami by far.
They've had injuries though, but it hasn't been like we're like both guys out at the same time. Like tonight, like Hero and Bam out tonight. But if Jimmy's out, at least Bam and Hero have been healthy. You know what I mean? There's no excuse for them being this bad. Like I knew they would come back to earth a little bit this year. 5 seed, 6 seed. Right now they're the 8 seed in the East.
But you know what? I think you can go either Heat, Hawks, Bulls, all 3 of those teams.
Bulls definitely.
I don't even think there can be a division between East and West for biggest disappointment. And someone has to say it. But Kris, the biggest disappointment is your top 5 player on your list. Kawhi Leonard. That is the biggest disappointment of the NBA season.
What sucks too is that when he's healthy, when he plays pretty well.
Oh, no, Ernest. He played good for 1 week. You got to remember his first 5-6 games, he was coming off the bench for 10, 20 minutes.
Still playing good. Still hitting game winners.
He was scoring 4 points with 1 rebound. I mean, come on. Dude, there's no bigger disappointment than that.
I mean, the way Golden State started the year, you could definitely put them in the conversation because even when they were healthy, they were playing like shit. But like, I would exclude them and Phoenix from that. For sure, Minnesota's got to rank way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the injuries though too. Like they came with a lot of bluster. Like we talking about this team being a top 5 or 4 team in the West, and they're like barely like in the play-in. I think right now.
It was one of those things where they thought the way they played against the Grizzlies in the first round, they thought they were one piece away, and boy,
they won 4 in a row right now, so they're playing better now. But it's still to sustain that.
You do realize they're 4 and 6 in their last 10.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I know it's weird.
Freaking the reason why, like,
how about the Kings though? Fun to watch.
Well, you know what? Me and Zack had that expected.
Hey, real quick,
guy,
who was the GM for that Kings trade?
For the Kings?
Yeah,
wasn't Vlade? Know that?
Are we sure it wasn't Vlade?
No, Vlade's been gone for a couple of years now.
No, it wasn't Vlade.
Okay.
So right now, hold on. I'm just gonna find this real quick. The GM.
But Mike Brown is definitely the reason why that culture is finally turned around.
That's another coach of the year possibility there, Mike Brown.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys that can be up there. I mean, they have to sustain at the end of the day. If they can sustain, I mean, the fact that they're 500 on the road and above 500 at home, their splits are really good.
I never thought Fox would ever be a winning player, so this is shocking me.
I love watching him play. He's great to watch. Monte McNair is their GM.
How long has he been there?
Not long, maybe like 2 years, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 3 tops.
Okay.
Vlade's been gone for at least since 2020.
All right.
So
Mike Brown has got them playing. Like I said, I always look at home road splits. Look at the Warriors this year. 17 and 4 at home.
Best record at home.
3 and 16 on the road.
Dude, they're elite at home and they're G League in the fucking road. I don't get that. But I feel like when we get to March and April, that'll balance out a little bit.
No. I remember a team in Orlando that had a record like this. They lost one game all season at home, but they couldn't win a fucking game for their life on the road. And know what happened? Tracy McGrady lost in the first round.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, good memories, huh?
Yeah.
Good memories. Kings are first in points per game in the league. Pretty sick.
Of course.
Let's see other stories here. Suns lost 6 in a row. Currently playing the Warriors right now.
I mean, you got the ownership in Phoenix. My wife went to school with that guy who's buying the team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to play on the Spartans basketball team.
Nice.
He's more like a bench warmer. Fucking bench warmer in college is fucking billionaire hedge fund guy.
That's how it works out. Normally.
Yep.
Trying to figure out. Remember you guys did the Detroit pick of being over 27 points.
No one would have thought that Cade would be out.
I know. Remember I was saying how why is Golden State's over under so low? I see why now. Now we get it now.
I remember when you said there was no way in hell Phoenix would go under.
I said no. I had him. No, I think I had him going under.
Oh no, hell no, you did not.
I had him regressing this year.
And bitched at both of you.
No, I had him regressing big time. I had him regressing big time this year. They're worse than I thought, actually, though.
Yeah, but their over under was a lot lower than.
They're like 4.5.
Their over under was like 53, and you're like, oh, that'll be easy for that.
Hold on. I have it right here. I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'll tell you right now what exactly it is. All right, so NBA over unders. Phoenix Suns was 51.5. Yeah, I had over.
Yeah.
Slight over. I had a slight over though.
I'm not letting you run away from that one.
No, you're right. No, you got me.
But you know what the most disappointing thing about Phoenix is they matched that contract for Ayton. And do you know how much his scoring has gone up since Devin Booker's been out?
None.
Like 1 point. Like
oh my god.
17 to 18 fucking points.
Wow.
You know, the only person who's like up their fucking game is Landry Shamet has gone from like 7 to 17 points, but no one else has stepped up on the fucking team. That's what they're 1-9 since Booker's been out. Like,
was it?
how is Ayton not scoring fucking 25 points a game right now? The alpha.
And how do you not trade Jay Crowder right now when he's down, when Booker's out, and you want to try and stay in the playoffs?
Can the Warriors go 21-10 the rest of the year? Not more than that. 31-10 the rest of the year.
You never know. I mean, if Steph Curry comes back in the shoulder,
he's back tonight. He's playing right now.
Yeah, but as long as the shoulder actually right, then they could tear. I mean, they're defending champions. They're one of the best teams in the league. I mean, they could easily go fucking 30 and whatever for the rest of the year. I mean,
so I had Indiana over 24.5 wins. They're at 23 right now. I think safe to say they'll get to 25 wins at least, right?
You think Milwaukee will cover?
Milwaukee for 2.5. Ooh.
Yeah, I think I warned you about this.
A little bit of regression. No Chris Middleton a chunk of the year. I think Milwaukee right now is in that mode where, like, you know what? Let's just be healthy. Fuck seeding.
Yeah, I thought that last year too.
I gotta think Miami's in the same boat too. Also, what if they don't care about seeding? Let's get to the top 6. The problem is now you're now behind Indiana, where Indiana's putting a little bit. No, I mean, the only game to have behind Indiana right now currently is not basketball we played, but there's only one spot left. You're not getting anything 1 through 5. Philadelphia, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and Boston have the 5 seats locked up.
I wouldn't be shocked to see New York fall out.
Oh, they will fall out. I think they will fall out.
Who do you think's gonna fall out?
I think 8, 9, 10 will all jump. I think Miami, Atlanta, Chicago will all jump the Knicks.
Yeah.
Chicago's not going anywhere. The Knicks are going to be a 500 or better team all season.
I don't see it.
Dude, I told you this. You didn't understand when they made that signing of Brunson, and I told you.
Yeah.
He and Randall.
I killed you guys on this one because I love the over on this one.
Which one?
For the Knicks.
You had so Knicks over-under was 39.5.
Yeah.
I went under this one.
Yeah. How you doing on that, buddy?
Well, yeah, I'm paced to get over it, but there's still time from the slip. There's still time to slip. Don't brag. Don't brag yet. There's still time for a nice little 6-game losing streak. They had a 5-game losing streak like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kick a guy for getting $100 million when you're throwing away $200.
No, I actually thought, in hindsight, that was a good trade for them. He's been very good. I'm impressed. Any other over-unders to look at real quick to review before we get out here?
Yeah, but Ernest.
Yeah.
You can't say the Jalen Brunson sign was good when they could have had Donovan Mitchell.
I don't know why. Who did they not want to give up for that again? Who was the player that they want to give up? Who was it?
RJ Barrett.
Would you done it?
They spited them by.
Well, that's what
tradable midway through the fucking negotiation, and then they said, "You know what? We'll take Quentin Grimes," and they said,
no.
That wasn't Quentin Grimes. That's who it was.
Yeah, Quentin Grimes.
Only the fucking Knicks, bro.
But let's also ask a question here too.
But I mean, they won Mitchell, like six years of first-round draft picks.
But is Mitchell this good in New York? Because he has a great team in Cleveland. He has a real good team in Cleveland right now.
Mitchell is from New York. I
understand that, but is he as productive like this in New York as he would have been in Cleveland?
No, because he doesn't have the talent around him.
He's in a better basketball spot right now.
Absolutely. Why he accepted the trade in the first place. But they should have went out and got him. That was the whole move right there.
Well,
this guy's from New York. He'd be the face of the Knicks. He would be.
Maybe they're still planning on getting Kyrie Irving next year, so they're saving some money.
Speaking of Kyrie Irving, real quick, Kevin Durant injury out 2 to 4 weeks. This is the opportunity for Kyrie Irving to change the narrative. If he can hold the fort down for at least a month.
Right now he's got nothing. He's got nothing to work with unless Seth Curry starts playing like his brother.
He played well on Sunday night against Miami. He killed us in the fourth quarter.
he could keep them at 500, then I would say Kyrie is worth every dime. But I don't see that. I see them cratering.
Yeah.
That's something we should revisit when Durant comes back.
That's February.
Rush back.
I think
because if he comes back in weeks and that knee's not right, oh god.
I think there's a strong chance he won't be back until the All-Star break. They may want to play it safe.
I think they're going to take more time for sure.
Especially if they play well without him. If they hold the fort down without him.
Oh, here's a team that's killed me and Kris. Toronto.
That team. Okay, I did a pod, I think 2 weeks ago, about teams that should be selling, looking to sell. You know, one of my teams: Toronto, Chicago, Atlanta.
But it's like OG's not playing bad. Spicy P's playing phenomenal. Like
no, but all 5 of their starters are playing 38 minutes a game.
Yeah,
and that's it. They're not playing anyone else on that team.
Like who do you sell?
On Toronto, I mean, Siakam is the most valuable player on that team at this point. You keep Barnes, obviously, and he's your future.
I think trade Van Fleet.
Van Fleet's another one too. You look at
Van Fleet, like the most.
He's a free agent coming up.
Yeah. Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he turned down $100 million. He didn't get offered as much as Tyler Hero.
He's getting at least Brunson money, at least.
Oh yeah, but he wants Tyler Hero money. He turned down Brunson money.
He might get that. Though.
He might
get that. Atlanta, John Collins. That's always the name being thrown in the hat.
Auto for the year. Played 4 games.
Wow. Trae Young. Is he? I think they find a coach first before you trade Trae Young. They gotta make that work. You gotta keep a star happy because they're not like Atlanta's getting stars every other like decade.
So Atlanta can trade Trae Young to New York any day of the week, and they know New York fans will love Trae Young.
Of course.
So they've got that in the back pocket. So anytime they want to do a tear down or a rebuild, they can just ship him to New York.
Yeah, Chicago's obviously the biggest one of all of the teams that have like the most talent on there that can benefit a contender. Like DeRozan, someone you look at, Vucevic possibly.
Vucevic to freaking Lakers.
Oh my God! Any of those guys go to the Lakers, it changes their team around.
But you know what the thing about it is? You have to just assume that they can just turn it around. If healthy, they can just turn it around and actually just rip off a 10-12 game winning streak and be right. The problem is the standings are so bunched up that if you just go on a decent run, you're all the way up in like hosting a playoff series.
Yeah.
So because of that reason, I don't think any of these teams are really going to be selling like that.
No, probably not. Well, but then again, that applies really to Western Conference teams. In the East, you're not getting really in the top 5. 6 is probably the highest you're going to get in the East. In the West, you have a better chance of getting into the top, 6 at least because of the parity in that conference. You know what I'm saying? You're not catching Cleveland, Boston, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, or who am I missing?
I'm telling you, next time we do a podcast, Brooklyn will not be in the top 4. That is a fact.
So we'll do a Brooklyn Nets alert every week, the next couple of weeks, and see where they're at now. So mark it down right now. When we did this podcast, the Nets are 27-13. They won 2 in a row. Okay,
aren't they second in the conference or something?
Yeah, 1.5 games on Boston. Yeah. So we'll check it next Tuesday and Wednesday when we do the podcast, and we'll see where they're at.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, guys. I guess that's it from me. Anything else you want to add? What's that, Kris?
I said Philly is 2 games. Philly's at 5 right now. They're 2 games behind them. Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna lose. No, like 4, 5, 6. Absolutely.
Any chance? Last thing before we get out of here. Any chance that we see any major other than Brooklyn, of course? You see any major flip flopping in top of the East? Like you see Philadelphia catching Boston or catching Milwaukee?
No.
I think we're going to find 3 teams in the East. Like at the end of the day, will be Boston, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. Just because of the fact that they're the deepest teams that can sustain little injuries here and there, as to where like Philly, they're going to be down Embiid here and there. You just down KD. Like those teams can't withstand the brutal war of attrition of the 82-game season. So you'll see those three teams always stay afloat pretty top of the East.
Okay. All right. I don't think the East changes much, to be honest with you. I think Cleveland's going to be the 4, most likely.
Oh, stop. Why are you fucking nuts? They're going to be the top 3 seed.
So you're saying they'll be the team that plays Brooklyn?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
100%.
KD going down just for 2 weeks gives Cleveland a top 3 seed for the rest of the season.
Okay, so
down for Cleveland.
Okay, so next couple weeks we're going to do a what's going on in Brooklyn section of this podcast. We'll see. Okay, what the Nets are right now currently, and we'll see. Like I said, 9 last 10 games.
If the Nets pull off a freaking Memphis of 2021, where they went 19 of 20 games while Ja Morant's out,
and you're gonna bitch, and you're gonna fucking talk shit, aren't you? Like you did last year.
Chance for Ja Morant to be MVP while he's wearing street clothes. Yes.
You think like fucking TJ Warren's just gonna come in and be like fucking bubble TJ Warren, start putting up 30? Stop.
Oh my god. Well, we'll do a check-in on this next week. Fellas, thanks for gonna
play good. Like what's gonna happen? Like who's gonna fill in that fucking Nick Claxton shooting 73% from the field? Is he just
I can tell you what's gonna happen right now. The Nets are going to score 78, 85, 73, 86, and 81 and lose every one of those games by 30 or more.
Well, we shall see. We'll check in next week. Zach, Kris, thanks for coming to pod as always, man. We'll do this next week.
All right, later.